This is Ticats Today.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Friday. Happy Friday, September the 3rd, 2021. It's your digital host, Louie B, on the Ticats Audio Network. Thanks for spending a little bit of your long weekend with me. I appreciate it, and hopefully you'll spend some of your Monday with us as well as the Ticats getting set for the Labor Day Classic. You can feel the electricity in the building at Tim Hortons Field. New signage going up. The concessions are being filled, and it's obviously a very exciting time down here at Tim Hortons Field. And hopefully we'll see you here on Monday. And if you're not coming down, or even if you are, make sure to tune into us on the Ticats Audio Network as we expand our coverage with the Labor Day Classic pregame show starting at 11 a.m. with Bubba O'Neill. And then at 12 noon, Andy Fantuz and I will have Tiger Cats pregame presented by Active Green and Ross. We'll hand it over to RJ Broadhead and Luke Tasker, who will have the call. And then myself and Andy Fantuz will be back for Tiger Cats postgame. And you're going to want to tune into that because only at ticats.ca and on the Ticats All Access app, we will have a pair of tickets to give away for the next home game. So you're going to want to tune into the all day, basically, to the Ticats Audio Network. And I do thank you for spending some time with me today. We got a great show coming up for you. We're going to hear from the reigning most outstanding player, Brandon Banks. Hear what he had to say after practice. We're going to hear from Coach Orlando Steinauer in just a few moments. And we're also going to be joined, and I know we already did Speaking with the Enemy, but maybe this is kind of a Speaking with the Enemy Part 2, as we're going to be joined by the general manager and Argos legend, Michael Pinball Clemons, later on in the program. So very much looking forward to chatting with him, getting his thoughts on, of course, Labor Day, his team's start to the season, and what he's expecting on Monday's game from the Ticats and his own team. So we got a jam-packed show. Want to make sure we get all in. So let's start with head coach Orlando Steinauer. He spoke after practice, and I started by asking him whether the preparation changes when you're playing the same opponent on the Monday and then of the Friday of the same week. Here's what he had to say.
No, not at all for us, Louie. That's like you said, we're not even thinking about anything past this week. So we're just focused on Monday. Well, he has enough film to earn respect. Like he can play, and they got a nice 1-2 punch. And we've had White, and White's done it for a while in this league. He's not a slouch. He can get the job done. So they got a nice 1-2 punch going. So at the end of the day, the name of the game is tackling, right? And we'll have our hands full, no doubt. You can feel it a little bit, absolutely. Obviously not like a regular year, but always around this time, you can start to feel the buzz, whether it's a Tim Hortons drive-through or whatnot. You see people, their jackets are out maybe a day earlier, in anticipation for Labor Day. So that's the fun, that's the buzz. There's always a little bit more media, more questions about it. So it's fun. You love to embrace it. It's a sports entertainment business, but at the end of the day, for us, between these walls and between the white lines, it's all about football. Yeah, we'll make that decision here shortly, Justin. I'm not trying to be coy, but again, that's probably going to be the way it is the majority of the year. We have two people that we feel like can get the job done. Jeremiah is nursing some stuff. I'll be honest with you, that Dane took the majority of the reps today. And we're always waiting for the medical reports, because even after practice, they feel one way, but you come in the morning and people feel a whole nother way.
That is the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Orlando Steinauer, as he spoke after practice. And Brandon Banks isn't having a typical Brandon Banks season, but if there's anyone who could possibly turn it around, it's the reigning most outstanding player. And we talked to Speedy B after practice, and he's getting set for a big Labor Day Classic, and he loves these games. And we just wanted to get his thoughts on what's going through his head as he prepares for another Labor Day Classic.
Just tell me, it's an intense battle. Obviously the battle of the QEW and the location that we at. Obviously they're right down the street, so we want a little bit of bragging rights. But at the end of the day, it's a football game, and we always want to go out there and when we compete, we want to win at the end of the day. So I'm just, letting them know it's a little bit more emphasis on this game. It's gonna mean a lot, obviously, man. Like you said, it's been a long 2 years, and then obviously we've been on the road the first 4 weeks of the season. So I can't wait. I just can't wait to hear our fans cheering for us, and somebody finally cheer for us and not talking smack to us. But it's probably gonna give me the chills walking out that tunnel, because obviously that's what us athletes live for. And that moment right there, I love when we can come out the tunnel and they cheering for us, and then we go to the middle of the field and give them a salute. He a consistent pro. You could tell that he's been on a pro team before. He's taking the details in, and he's going out there and putting plays on the field. I've been seeing it since the start of training camp, before he actually had a small injury. He was out there making plays, and I'm happy he's on our team making plays, and I'm happy for the help, and hopefully he will stretch the field more this game as well. I'm gonna be honest, man. Our fans, the atmosphere of the stadium, it's just. They give us an extra boost to go out there, led on the line for the city. So I just think that give us an extra boost.
That, of course, is the reigning most outstanding player, Brandon Banks, Speedy B. Always love catching up with him. And you can tell he's excited for this one. And there's no doubt this guy is going to be able to turn it around sooner rather than later. All right. Time to get to what I'm calling Speaking with the Enemy Part 2. Very pleased now to be joined by the general manager of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a man who has played in, coached, general managed, just about done everything you can on the other side of the QEW in Toronto. He's currently the general manager, Michael Pinball Clemons. Pinball, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. And there's always something special about Labor Day, isn't there?
That Labor Day is a beast of its own. Now, not to mention that both teams, I think, are really quality teams this year, and for us, it's really a bit of a measuring stick. We'll see how far we've come or how far we haven't this week when we play what is the best team in the Eastern Division this week.
When you talk to the team, when coach talks to the team, I mean, there aren't a lot of guys who have experienced this rivalry as intense as it has. You have, very, very familiar with it. What do you tell the guys in terms of what to expect when coming into Hamilton?
Well, there's something about Labor Day when you arrive. I don't know if there's directions that you get when you're on the bus or driving over, or if there's a certain thing when you cross over from Burlington into Hamilton. It is innate. The passion, the energy around this game, no one has to explain it to you. Everything is left there on the field, and it's truly a remarkable matchup and one that we all relish and look forward to.
What are some of your favorite memories of Labor Day? I have to imagine they're the wins for you in Argos land, but what kind of memories do you have about coming into Hamilton in these games?
Interestingly enough, that they aren't necessarily the wins, right? They are when we came in 1991 and we had John Candy and Bruce Vicknall and I can't forget Wayne Gretzky were owners of the team, and we had a high flying team. We eventually won the Grey Cup, and Hamilton was struggling at the time, and struggles be gone on Labor Day, right? And so they end up with a win, and I specifically had a little cane that day. I wasn't playing and watching, and I made I made the blunder, the apparel blunder. I wore a suit that was gold, and the shirt under it was black. Oh my goodness, what was I thinking? So being on the sidelines was challenging in of itself, and then of course I wore a gold and black suit. That wasn't a smart choice from that standpoint. But I also remember coming to when I wasn't playing or coaching and I wasn't in the leadership. I was what was really an ambassador of the club at the time, and a young lady came up with her boyfriend, and I was signing a few different autographs, and she kind of got in line, and so I signed it, right, and she said, "Thanks, Pinball, but the Argos still suck." And oddly enough, that's one of my biggest Labor Day memories. And her boyfriend said, "You can't say that to Pinball." And I said, "Listen, you don't understand. I want to suck on Labor Day, right? There's no there's no room here for dispassionate interactions. Labor Day is supposed to be full of all of that passion and energy, and just one of the little things you remember about the Labor Day games.
It's funny you say that, passion and energy, because 90, 91 you remember. 2001 it was you were on the bench. Greg Marshall was on the other side. There were a few ejections in that game, and it ended in a tie. So that was 91, 2001. I mean, what does 2021 have in store for us this year?
Oh my goodness! Well, if the rest of 2021 has been any indication, I think we're probably into one of the best battles we've ever had, and it certainly looks that way from the talent on the field on both sides. Your Hamilton team, we have to call the best team. It doesn't matter about the record right now. We have to call you the best team in the East until it's proved otherwise. The talent you have on this team is amazing, and we can't wait to have that opportunity to see whether or not at this point in the season we can measure up to any extent.
And I mean, to that point, you guys played so well against Winnipeg at home, and I'm sure you would have loved to have gotten back on the field as quickly as you could. But with the Edmonton issues that came up, what is this kind of extended time off done for the club? Is it good? Is it bad? I mean, how do you look at this long stretch in between games here?
Well, we'll be able to evaluate one part of that on Labor Day. The other part will take a little bit more time. But when these kind of things happen, they are interruptions, and I think the greater challenge is the Edmonton team. This disease doesn't have any friends, as we know, and so we just wish them the best, and that they'll get back to health and get back playing, hopefully on Labor Day as well. And from that point, we really won't know the effect. We certainly had some advantages there. We don't want to suggest that they were all challenges. We had some guys that got a bit healthier during this time, and so we'll look at it on Labor Day, but I think the real measure will be in weeks to come.
Well said. And just one more, just kind of an overall assessment on your team. There were a lot of new faces. There were a lot of new pieces. And to see you guys click so early, that's got to be encouraging for you as a general manager. Winnipeg comes in as the defending champions. You really kind of put them in their place. You got to be encouraged with what you've seen so far early on from your team in terms of what you guys have been able to do and what you can do moving forward.
We're really grateful for our head coach, Ryan Dinwiddie. He has done just a great job, a real just a tremendously hard worker who has been in a lot of times by himself as we've had rules that we weren't coming into the office, and when he came in, he had to, no one else could be in his space, and so a lot of the work he did alone. Of course, he had his coaches on Zooms and different things, but he's prepared so hard for this, and in combination with that, really is a coach that players can relate to. He was in uniform just a few years ago, and so we owe a lot of that to him and the balance of our coaching staff, an experienced coaching staff that has youth in it as well, right? So we're encouraged by that, and really proud of our head coach, our first-time head coach, and he certainly doesn't look like a first-time.
I was about to say, and speaking of head coaches, I know you know Coach O, Orlando Steinauer, pretty well. Do you plan on exchanging any pregame messages? Any try to get under his skin a little bit before this one?
I know better than to try to get under his skin. I don't need to give him any more reason to be any more excited about the opportunity that they have coming up here on Labor Day. They'd like to even the scales, and we'd like to obviously pull a little further ahead. And with him, I respect him way too much for any of that. Anyway. But of course, in my role, I may be down a little bit pregame. We'll see, but we try to stay up in the booth, out of the way, just making sure that we're covering all the protocols and keeping our teams and most importantly our fans safe.
Well said, Pinball. It is always great to connect with you. Thank you so much for taking the time this afternoon. Appreciate it.
The pleasure is all mine. I have to say, I take all of that back from you, okay?
Love it. I love the positivity. You just made my day that much better. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And see you on Labor Day.
Absolutely. We'll see him down there. Hopefully we'll see you down there as well, there being Tim Hortons Field. Cannot wait to welcome fans. The electricity in the building starting to build, and it's only going to reach its max once we get to Labor Day. On Monday. Just to let you know, tomorrow is Saturday, because if you're like me, it's hard to keep track of the days of the week these days, but tomorrow is Saturday. We will not have a Ticats Today, but a very special Sunday edition of Ticats Today. We'll run through the depth chart and hear from a couple players as they get set to play in their Labor Day Classic debuts. All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great weekend. And make sure to join us on Sunday for a special edition of Ticats Today. For the Ticats Audio Network, I'm Louie B. Hoping you have a great day and a great weekend.